Yesterday in the shloka 2.53 we discussed the Lord has explained the situation of samadhi. Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasiti nischala samadhavachala buddhis tada yogam avapsasi. That when your intelligence has transcended the flowery languages of Vedas and you remain constantly in trance, that means being always aware that I'm Krishna's eternal servant and I must engage only in Krishna's service. Then you must have you must understand that then is your then you have attained the state of yoga. Because now the senses will only be engaged in Krishna's service. That's the point. So now naturally the question can be there from the Arjuna's side that what is the symptom of a person who has this kind of consciousness? Yes, thank you. This is from the Lord, so I can wear. Yes. If somebody can say, Prabhuji, people should put garland on you. Why are you taking on your own? Well, if somebody gives you prasadam, don't you take on your own? Or somebody has to put it in your mouth? No. So garland of the Lord is there. We should honor it and put it on ourselves. So we should understand why this garland is there. It's not to give us respect. It is to purify us so that we can speak something about Krishna. So now, are you able to understand the link? The link is the Lord has explained in the previous shloka that in that stage you will be called, it will be said that you have attained the state of yoga. Now naturally the Arjuna is asking this question, what are the symptoms of a person who is like this, fixed in his consciousness that he will always serve Krishna? What are the symptoms of that? So in this there are 4 questions. So let us chant this shloka. Please chant after me. Arjuna uvacha.
Arjuna uvacha.
Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha.
Sthita pragyasya ka bhasa.
Samadhistasya keshava.
Samadhistasya kesava.
Sthitadhi kim prabhashet.
Sthiti dhiri kim prabhasit.
Mistake. Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta.
Sthiti dhiri kim prabhaseta.
Kimasita vrajeta kim.
Kimasita vrajeta kim.
Arjuna uvacha.
Arjuna uvacha.
Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha.
Sthita pragyasya ka bhasa.
Samadhistasya keshava.
Samadhistasya kesava.
Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta.
Sthiti kim prabhaseta.
Kimasita vrajeta kim.
Kim asita vrajeta kim.
Arjuna uvacha.
Arjuna uvacha.
Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha.
Sthita pragyasya kya bhasa.
Samadhistasya keshava.
Samadhistasya kesava.
Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta.
Sthiti kim prabhaseta.
Kimasita vrajeta kim.
Kim asita vrajeta kim.
Yes, please chant.
Arjuna uvacha.
Arjuna uvacha.
Sthiti pragyasya ka bhasa.
Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha.
Samadhistasya kesava.
Samadhistasya keshava.
Sthitadhi kim prabhaseta.
Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta.
Kim asita vrajeta kim.
Kimasita vrajeta kim. Want to chant? Please.
Arjuna uvacha.
Uvacha.
Sthit pragyasya ka bhasa.
Pragyasya ka bhasha.
Samadhistasya keshava.
Samadhistasya keshava.
Sthitidhi kim prabhasheta.
Kim prabhasheta.
Kimashit vrajeta kim.
Kimasita vrajeta kim. So let us chant the word meanings. Speak in the mic. Arjuna vacha. Arjuna said.
Arjuna said.
Sthita pragyasya.
Sthit pragyasya.
Of one who is situated in fixed Krishna consciousness. Put the mic little away. Little bit away. Yes, yeah. Boli.
Just one.
Of one who is situated in fixed Krishna consciousness.
Of one.
Ka. What? Bhasha.
Bhasha.
Language. Samadhistasya.
Samadhistasya.
Of one situated in trance.
Of one situated in trance.
Keshava.
Keshava.
O Krishna.
O Krishna.
Sthitadhi.
Sthitadhi.
One fixed in Krishna consciousness.
One fixed in Krishna consciousness.
Kim. What?
What?
Prabhasheta.
Prabhasheta.
Speaks.
Speaks.
Kim.
Kim.
how.
How.
Asita,
Ashita
does remain still.
does remain still.
Vrajeta,
Gazeta
walks.
walks.
Kim,
Kim,
how.
how.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? Thus means from previous shloka. A person who has attained yoga, what are the symptoms? How does it will come in the later commentaries? How does he himself know internally that I am situated in yoga? And how does externally others will know him that he is situated in yoga? नहीं समझ रहे हैं. Internally he will also has to understand that I am now situated in yoga, and externally also people should understand. Just like if a person is lusty, does he know internally that he is lusty? And does outside people also know that he is lusty? Very easily you can make out. If a person is blissful, does he feel internally that he is blissful, happy? And outside people also can see that. If a person is very lamenting, internally he feels sad. Yes, externally also people say, "Kya ho gaya?" Is it not? He said, "नहीं कुछ नहीं हुआ. Nothing has happened." No. By your face, I can say that you are very sad today. So internal symptoms are asked, and external symptoms are there. Okay. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? Consciousness means buddhi here. It does not waver from Krishna's lotus feet. How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? Now you must understand what is his language does not refer to what language he is speaking in terms of English, Hindi, Sanskrit, French. You must understand. That is not the question. The question is not that what he speaks, what language he speaks. That means a person who's merged in his consciousness in Krishna is not dependent on our upadhi, whether I'm an Indian or American or Chinese or anybody. Anybody can be merged in transcendence. Anybody can be having his consciousness merged into transcendence. So we have to understand the proper meaning of the words in context of the present discussion. Let us understand the shloka. Arjuna vacha means Arjuna asked, Arjuna said, Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha. Pragya means consciousness, intelligence, and sthita means fixed. Sthita pragyasya, of one whose intelligence is fixed. Ka bhasha. What is his paribhasha? Now you understand? Definition? Paribhasha is meaning of definition. How is he defined? So here the word bhasha means how is he defined? How does he know? This is how does he himself know? This is the internal symptoms of a person who's self-realized, and that whether he's self-realized or not. So like right now, are we not self-realized? Yes, you understand, because we can understand we have forgotten our Swarupa and we are identifying with our bodies. That is the definition of a person who is not self-realized. Similarly, there is a paribhasha. There is a definition of a person who is self-realized. So what is the definition? And that definition is not by somebody who is a rascal. That's why he's saying Samadhistasya Keshava. Keshava means Ka means Brahmaji and Ish means Lord Shiva. And he, the Lord Krishna, is controller of both Brahmaji and Shivji. He is not asking this question it's a very deep question, very, very difficult question. He is not asking from an ordinary person. He's asking from a person who is a controller of Brahmaji and Krishna, Brahmaji and Shiva also. Keshav. Samadhistasya Kesava. The person who's absorbed in Samadhi. Sthita pragyasya Samadhistasya. Whose pragya, whose consciousness is fixed in Samadhi. Samadhi we have understood. Samyak dhi, nice intelligence, that intelligence which is only directed towards Krishna, aimed towards Krishna. This is first question is clear. Isthita dhi kim prabhashet. A person who has his fixed intelligence, how does he walk? Sorry, how does he speak? Now speak here means prabhash, bhasha. Now here bhasha means language. Prabhash means nicely speaks when he is praised, when he is when he's criticized, when he gets into bad situation, what does he speak? Is it not in all these dualities, when we are faced with these dualities, we speak something? So how a person who has fixed intelligence, how does he speak when he's put in this particular situation? So how does he speak does not refer to which language he speaks. Whether it's Indonesian language or Chinese or Indian or English, anything. How does he react in terms of speaking when he meets these dualities? Are you able to understand this point? Prabhasha? Kim Asita, how does he sit? Now what does it mean? Does he sit in which asana is referring to? No. When the sense objects are there, how does he actually sit? Sit means how is he able to withdraw his senses? And Vrajeta Kim. Vrajeta means going. Vraja, you understand? Walking. So in what situation he will employ his senses? For sense engagement. These questions have to be understood very clearly. Then you will understand, then only you can understand the rest of the discussion. What is his internal symptoms? By which he will understand himself that he is self-realized. And externally, if a person is, so let's say, humiliated in public. Now, if he does, the way he will react will be seen by outside people or not. So that's an external thing. Okay. When a sense object is produced in front of him or brought before him, others will also see how he reacts or not. Asita, and we also see how he engages in Krishna's service. He will employ his senses very enthusiastically when there is an opportunity to serve Krishna. Vrajetakyam. I'm kind of giving the answer also. Are you able to understand these three parts? Prabhashita means how he will react to dualities. Asita means how he will withdraw his senses, control his senses. And Vrajeta means how he will use his senses. So these questions have to be understood very clearly. Then the whole discussion becomes very interesting. What is coming the coming fourth shlokas? I hope it is understood what I'm trying to say. Gita Bhushan commentary. When the Lord spoke thus, Arjuna, wanting to know the characteristics of the Sthit Pragya mentioned in the previous verse means this shloka, Tada Yogam Avapsasi, which describes of that. A person situated in realization of Atma asks questions. There are 4 questions in this verse. Do you understand why Arjuna is asking questions? Because in the previous shloka, the Lord has explained of the state of a person who has attained yoga. So now he wants to know what is the symptom of a person who has attained yoga. One concerns the situation in samadhi or there are 4 questions in this verse. Okay. 1, that means first, concerns the situation in samadhi or realization. The other 3 are concerning the same person in samadhi when subjected to agitating circumstances. Again, go to the shloka. Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshav. What are the symptoms of a person who is absorbed in transcendence? He will, let's say, he will feel happy and all that. Now, what are the symptoms of a person when he meets disturbing circumstances? Are the 3 questions. Prabhasheta, Asita, Kim Prabhasheta, Kim Asita, Kim Vrajeta. नहीं समझ में आ रहा है? Very deep question. And normally Asita means will sit, Vrajeta means go. But you must understand that these direct meanings have no value of in context of the discussion in hand. How does he walk? How does he walk and how does he sit? Has no connection with the discussion in hand. That's why Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan has explained it in a different way. When the direct meaning is not clear, then the alternate meaning is understood depending on the context of it. He is taking the secondary meaning of the word Asita and Vrajeta in the sense that, in the sense of context of discussion which is happening. Are you able to get this point? Very, very interesting meaning. And you see, if we don't understand in parampara, we can never imagine Asita and Vrajita can mean like this. यदा संहरते चायम कूर्मो अंगानि सर्वशः इंद्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रसभम मना. We'll discuss these things. I will not open the secret now. So are you able to understand the four questions? One question is regarding the samadhi, which he will himself experience. And the three questions are regarding how he will behave when he meets disturbing circumstances. Before we go further, I give you a simple example. Haridas Thakur, you know. So now you see one symptom he knows. We know that he was constantly engaged in blissful chanting of Hare Krishna. But the other things, when he was beaten in 22 marketplaces, were external things which were actually coming to him, and how he was reacting can we know also by hearing Shastra. Prahlad Maharaj, you understand now my point, what I'm trying to say? Very clearly you can understand that Prahlad Maharaj, Haridas Thakurji's consciousness is constantly merged in transcendence. There is Sthit Pragya. Are you able to relate this? When the Lakha Hira came, offered her proposal to Haridas Thakur, he did not accept it. But when there was opportunity to glorify Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That makes sense to you? So there are symptoms of a person. Okay. This is a very important line that Srila Prabhupada makes. One's greatness must be measured by his ability to tolerate provoking situations. I'll repeat this. One's greatness must be measured, not maybe, must be measured by his ability to tolerate provoking situations. And it's amazing because this world has a tendency to create provoking situations always. That's like today only. I just woke up at 1:30. Now what to do? I am not feeling sleepy also that I can sleep more. What to do? And I said, okay, let me chant Hare Krishna. And then so many things. No, we have disease and all those things. Those three tap, Adhyatmik, Adi, Bhautik, Adi, Devik, are constantly there. And then the assault of the senses are there. So in that situation also, if a person can remain fixed in Krishna consciousness, then he must be having Sthita Pragyata. Are you able to understand? How does one describe ka bhasha, a person whose intelligence is fixed, sthita pragyasya, or the person situated in samadhi, samadhistasya? Bhasha means that by which something is described, just like paribhasha. Then paribhasha means how you nicely define an object. Similarly, in that sense, bhasha is used. Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha. Sthita pragyasya ka paribhasha. Now you understand? Now you understand very easily. What is the definition of a person who's sthita pragya or who's in samadhi, who's situated in samadhi? Samadhistha. 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 Stha means situated. What is the definition of a person who is situated in samadhi, or the person situated, or a person whose consciousness fixed? Sthita pragya. They are not different words. What is the definition of a mango or am? I mean, the same way, there's no different things you're saying. You're just repeating. Sthita pragyasya, samadhistasya. They are not different. These are not defining different people. They are same people. Sthita pragya means pragya or consciousness is fixed in the Lord, and samadhi means the consciousness is fixed in the Lord. So they are not different words. They are not. They will not be giving different definitions for these two words. It may appear two questions, but they're not two questions, only one question. And then the rest are three. When that person becomes subjected to agitating circumstances, how will he behave? How will his words or actions be distinguished from those of others on receiving praise or blame, affection or hate? What will he say externally or internally? Kim prabhasheta. Very nice, is it not? Now the word kim prabhashita is used in the sense of what does he react? Basically, how does he react? We see normally people who are, or anybody who is mistreated, how does he react? Even if he cannot fight, one way is that he might fight with a person who is insulting him. Is it not? That's what we normally do. And suppose if we cannot fight and we are victimized, then what do we feel? We feel hate toward a person. Is it not? That is natural for a person. But how many of us can actually think and accept that this person is only an instrument of my own karma? He cannot act in any way wrong to me unless I have done something wrong in my previous lives, to him or to somebody else. Fact is that, but we behave like that. Is it not? Suddenly somebody becomes just so much envious of you, and they're just out of the air, out of the blue, as they say, out of the blue, he will. What is that? He may insult you. Is it not, Prabhu? You came to the ashram, the other devotees, without even knowing him. No, don't give your things here. Don't. Do you feel surprised? What I have done? You were surprised, no? What I have done to him. And I know how Prabhuji was saying. When I actually came, and he could see that his grievances can be addressed. Then I see Prabhuji was listing. He did this to me. He did this to me. He did this. I was just laughing. To me, can you see yourself? He's like a small child. He did this. He did this. You see, he did this like this like this. So it's not. I'm not saying that doesn't happen to me. The same thing would happen to me also. I would have also reacted the same way. It is not so easy to become Sthita Pragya. The same question has been asked by Uddhav ji to Lord Krishna in 11th canto. Even if a person is very, very intelligent, but if a fool insults him in assembly of people, he cannot tolerate that. Then how are your devotees able to tolerate these difficulties? Then eventually the Lord answers, because their consciousness is merged in hearing and chanting about me. Because they're happy hearing and chanting about me, they don't worry about the dualities of this world. Are we not criticized for becoming devotees? Yes. But do we care? No. No matter how much you criticize. Hey, Hare Krishna wala ban gaya. Okay, anyhow is chanting Hare Krishna. It's so much, I think we have no problem, but those who are in homes, they are almost like spending 6 hours in the morning and then again 3 to 4 hours in the evening. So there must be some questions raised there. Are you going crazy? That is natural. That is natural. So all those things. So we ourselves are developing this Sthita Pragyata, no matter what people will say. We will not give up Krishna consciousness. Then what to talk of very high level of Krishna consciousness? Are you able to understand this point? Kim prabhasheta means how will we react? Now, suppose somebody really insults us and we can do something, then we can react normally. But what if we cannot react? Then what will we think in our heart? So those thoughts are not spoken to somebody else. But chehra to ban jata hai na. We feel bad, na? Like I am giving class here. So one senior devotee was giving class. And normally I like his class. It's not that I don't like his class, but I have a goal to complete this Bhagavad Gita. So he just met me before Prasadam Hall and he said, you did not show up in the class today? I said, Prabhuji, I was giving Gita class. I have to complete this course. So he became sad. It is difficult. It's not that I did not like his class, but I have to complete this course. Very difficult. And the same is explained by Mahaprabhu. Trinadapi sunichena taror api sahishrana amanina manadena kirtaniya sadari. Tolerate everything what comes to us and then do good to others. In that consciousness, we can actually chant Hare Krishna constantly, because the Lord will reveal the sweetness of his chanting or taste in his chanting in that consciousness. We should be aspiring for that. It's not an easy thing. But Prabhupada says, at least we should tolerate small offenses of others. If somebody would have said, you did not play Kartal properly, okay, forgiven. But some people can be saying, what a great offense he has done to me. It is unforgivable. You cannot forgive that. Or not realizing my glories, he has not served me the rasgulla which was served to everybody. I am sure he is going to be ghetto. Vaishnava Pradi. He is finished. I can see his doomsday. So like this, a beautiful point before we go forward. One devotee very nicely put, for an actual devotee, any offense done to him is a small offense. And of any offense done by him is a great offense. Beautiful point, is it not? Just a side point in this. Are you able to understand this point? I will explain this little bit on this. Amrish Maharaj was heavily offended by Durvasa Muni. But you know what? He was feeling that he had offended Durvasa Muni. Again, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, you see, Lord Vishnu was heavily offended by Bhrigu Rishi. But he was thinking, I have offended Bhrigu Rishi. You know the pastime where Bhrigu Muni came and hit the chest of Lord Vishnu in front of his wife. It's very, and in his inner chambers, what if happens to if this happens to a grahastha in this world? What the Lord, see, when we hear this, we say, very nice, very nice. What if it happens to you? What if it happens to you? Very difficult. And the Acharyas explain, when the Lord did not become angry with Bhrigu Muni, that was his quality in mode of goodness. But when he felt that, no, I have offended Bhrigu Muni, then what is that? That shows his quality of transcendence. So even for Lord Vishnu, anyhow, his transcendence himself personified, but he's also manifesting. Similarly, the devotees are also manifesting. So this is really nice. And in that, you can whole day meditate, or at least some time you can meditate and remembering Prahlad Maharaj, remembering Haridas Thakur and other Vaishnavas who will all manifest these symptoms. Is it okay? And then we can see how far we are from the goal. What if the prasadam is not really up to my tongue's taste today? Krishna, I'm telling to you, but Krishna will test me also. Because the exam of Bhagavad Gita is also for the teacher as well as for the student. Before we go further, hear very carefully. All of us, all conditioned souls, think that this whole universe should revolve around me. Everything should go as per my desires. Does everything go as per your desire? Very less. So unless we are tolerant, how can we advance in Krishna consciousness? Complain ही करते रहेंगे. We constantly complain. Think about it. So now you understand these points? Internally, externally. How will he stop the senses from going to sense objects? Kim asita. Asita means sit. Withdraw in that sense. When I'm sitting here, I'm withdrawing my senses or my legs to go anywhere. Is it not? So in that sense, how is he able to withdraw his senses from sense objects when they are present before him? Is that an easy task? Remember this, because the Lord will say, even if a person is trying to control senses, the senses are so strong, haranti prasabham mana. So that person who can control his senses is sthittapragya tada uchyate. Are you able to understand this point? The question was, how is he able to control his senses? So by describing the power of senses to kidnap the mind, so to speak, forcibly, and then saying whose senses are always constantly under his control, that person is Sthita Pragya. Can you understand the depth of this question? I mean, amazing, is it not? Kimasita. Always the senses never go for sense gratification. Why? Because we know this from Bhagavatam also, evam prasanna manaso. When a person attains the stage of bhava, he has no desire for sense gratification. This is Sthita Pragyata. No desire for sense gratification. Although we have heard that in the stage of Nishtha also, where there are some desires of sense enjoyment, but person becomes fixed in Krishna consciousness. But real fixation actually means bhavastha. There is no virakti, complete virakti. There is no desire for sense gratification. It's a very exalted state. And we must remember, if we have a desire for sense gratification, only then a person can offend us. Are you able to understand these things? Only then he can give us any pain. Otherwise he cannot. Can you digest this? Think about it. If we have any expectation of getting good or receiving good from others, then only they have an opportunity to behave badly with us. नहीं समझ रहे हैं? If I want respect from you, only then you can disrespect me. Now you can get it? But if I don't want respect from you or anybody, then you can't disrespect me. नहीं? What an amazing liberated stage where we don't want anything from anyone. I just held for some time so that you can digest this point. Think about it. Not anything from anyone. That's what Srila Madhavendra Puri Pad is. He was not asking anything. I tried it. I will not go to Prasadam hall and wait for Prasadam to come on his own. I could never do it. I could never do it. Never, never. No, it's just so difficult. We can only act as per the level of our consciousness. But this is the fact. Okay. Okay. And not stopping the senses, how will he receive those sense objects? Kim Brajeta. That means, obviously, when those sense objects have connection with Krishna, how will he receive them? Will he have that discrimination? Oh, this is related to Krishna, I'll take it. And this is not related to Krishna, I will not take it. This is the meaning of surrender. Sankalpa and Vikalpa. Anukul is Sankalpam. Anything which is favorable for bhakti, I'll accept. Leave it here. Everything which is favorable for bhakti, I'll accept. And everything, bold, underlined, which is unfavorable for Krishna consciousness, I'll give up. Very easy, is it not? Very easy. If you practice Krishna consciousness, then you won't answer it's very easy. It's quite difficult because there is a desire for sense gratification which overrides our determination to do this. Anukulasya sankalpam, pratikulasya varjanam, is it not? But when we chant Hare Krishna, that's what Srila Prabhupada explains. When we chant Hare Krishna, we get that strength naturally. That following four-legged principle becomes easier and easier and easier. So that is a solution. It's not simply a discussion. It's a solution is when we chant Hare Krishna regularly, when we associate with Krishna in the form of his hearing, his name, form, quality, pastimes regularly. Basically, through the process of bhakti, then gradually the tendency to accept things, that means vrajeta, the tendency to move or accept things in relationship with Krishna will increase, and reject things to unfavorable towards Krishna consciousness will also increase. समझ रहे ना मेरी बात? This is a very amazing thing. These last three are expressed with verbs in the potential mood. If it were to happen, what would he do? That means if he would receive sense objects, what he will do? Will he hold himself? If he has some opportunity to serve Krishna, will he enthusiastically speak or do something for Krishna? If he is meeting with dualities, how will he tolerate? Okay, and this is a question. That's why I'm saying again and again, Bhagavad Gita examination is after the class, immediately. The paper of Bhagavad Gita examination paper immediately starts after your after the class begins. Ends. Makes sense to you? Are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay. Purport. Beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada. As there are symptoms for each and every man in terms of his particular situation, similarly, one who is Krishna conscious has his particular nature, talking, walking, thinking, feeling, etc. As a rich man has his symptoms by which he is known as a rich man, as a diseased man has his symptoms by which he is known as disease, or as a learned man has his symptoms, so a man in transcendental consciousness of Krishna has specific symptoms in various dealings. This is very easy to understand. And there is standard definition of rich man, standard definition of a diseased man, is it not? That's how we get diagnosed by a particular disease. So like one devotee told, I am having fever in the morning, not having fever in the morning and increasing in the night time. Most probably by hearing this, what you will say, maybe malaria. is a specific symptom of a specific fever, is it not? Normally it happens like that. So malaria is different and dengue is different. You know that at this point. And then cough also, there are various different kinds of coughs. So you see, for all that we have a symptom. So is there no standard symptom for a person who is actually transcendental? There should be. Is it very clear? One can know his specific symptoms from the Bhagavad Gita. Is very good, because we can't cheat ourselves, we can't cheat others too if we follow Bhagavad Gita. Make sense to you? I cannot imagine myself that I am a pure devotee unless I meet the standards which are explained in Bhagavad Gita. Just like our dear Sham Murari Prabhu is our quality control expert for agarbattis, incense sticks. So do you have some standard in mind? Every incense has to follow, has to reach this standard? Must be, yes. Otherwise it cannot be called a good incense. Do you agree? Similarly, the Lord has told these are the standards of a person whose consciousness is fixed in the Lord. Now, don't become disheartened, because there is a process. If that is followed, every incense will come out nice, up to the standard. Do you agree? Similarly, all of us are like agarbattis which have to be offered to Krishna. So they should not smell bad. And you know what is that bad smell? Anyabhilashita. All those anyabhilashita means desires except bhakti. All those are bad smelling desires. And Krishna will say, not that good. It is there, but some mixed smell is coming. So Krishna will be happy when there is pure fragrance. I don't know how that argument, this point came. When Krishna always gives some transcendental intelligence, but some bad smelling thing. You know, like outside agarbattis, they mix rubber with it. Yeah, it is good, but bad smell. So Krishna actually becomes happy only by pure devotional service. You must remember this point. So as we do bhakti, keep on doing bhakti, all those bad elements are gone away. So don't worry about it. But the idea is we should see what are the symptoms. Are we manifesting ourselves? And obviously when we are manifesting ourselves, then outside will also manifest. I'm not talking personally to somebody, but if you're actually chanting Hare Krishna, actually, unless you're a Mahabhagavat like Pundrik Vidyanidhi, you want to live a very simple Krishna conscious life. That is natural. You don't want to waste our energy in running after money and illusory things. That should happen, is it not? If it is not happening, then I'm not doing bhakti properly. I'm not discouraging. I'm just saying, if I'm chanting properly, naturally I should become detached. नहीं हो रहा है, बताइए इतने लोगों का. माता पिता घबरा रहे हैं कि नहीं घबरा रहे? If it is not happening, even now, why the parents are becoming so much disturbed? Now we don't want to talk their nonsense. We don't want to go to their parties. Is it not happening? We don't worry so much about the hairstyles. We don't worry about the hairs also. Especially the boys. Not for Matajis. Matajis, that would be too much. No, if you remove your hairs, then people will kill me. What is this? No, that is not standard. But that desire to see ourselves, to present ourselves separate from others, being in center, should diminish. Just like somebody may lead kirtan and in his heart it may come how others are feeling. A devotee may think like this, but then he will curse this. Why this desire is coming? Why can't I simply chant for Krishna's pleasure? At least you can aspire like that. So there is some devotion coming in your heart. Are you able to understand these points? Like how Srila Prabhupada was singing only for the pleasure of Krishna. When will I be able to chant like this? So if those symptoms are coming, at least those aspirations are coming, so heart is getting purified. ठीक है ना? Okay. Most important is how the man in Krishna consciousness speaks. For speech is the most important quality of any man. It is said that a fool is undiscovered as long he does not speak, and certainly a well-dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks, but as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. I'll read the whole thing and then I'll give the comments. The immediate symptom of a Krishna conscious man is that he speaks only of Krishna and of matters relating to him. other symptoms then automatically follow as stated below. It will come in the beautiful, amazing. We don't understand this point very nicely, but let us try to discuss this. Mahaprabhu tells to his devotees, if you have any priti for me, priti means love. If you have any love for me, you don't speak anything except the name of Krishna or topics about Krishna. Now you may say, Shyam Murari Prabhu will immediately say, but I have to talk about making agarbattis. Now those agarbattis are for what? For Krishna, for service to cows. That's why Prabhupada said about Krishna or matters related to Krishna. Just like I said, we need to purchase these mattresses. What it has to do with Krishna? It is for those devotees who will come and stay, and they will go to Mangalarti. Now can you see the connection with Krishna? अच्छा वो दाल का रेट क्या लेने गए थे आप? What is the rate of the dal and wheat and all that? What is the rate of the good quality wheat? Where is Krishna here? Krishna is very much there, because this topic is in relationship with prasadam, Vaishnav Seva. Does it make sense to you? It's a very, very important point. But if I say, hey, what happened with the devotee? How he fell down? Did he actually fell down? Now this has nothing to do with Krishna. Krishna is not happy with that, because Krishna only sees the devotee has done some service. Now you're able to understand? So if we just check. Now let us all throughout the day do an experiment. There is an urge within us to speak. Yes? Before it comes out from our mouth, let us check whether that urge will benefit a person by making him Krishna conscious or not. Very difficult. We just don't think and speak. Just don't think and speak, and so much nonsense comes from there. The highest offense is blaspheming Vaishnavas, and we just don't get anything out of it except a speed breaker in our bhakti. Is it not? Our road of bhakti is like Yamuna Expressway, but we ourselves put speed breakers and they expect, oh, I should go fast. Is it not? And why we do that? Hear very carefully. Because we associate with those people who can't appreciate Vaishnavas. नहीं समझ रहे हैं? अजय की तो दीक्षा नहीं हुआ है. People say like this, अरे इसकी तो दीक्षा ही नहीं हुई है. Is he not chanting Hare Krishna? How did you feel when I said you are not initiated like this? Feel bad, na? Although I was just doing a drama. Just doing the drama, it feels bad. Just imagine if a person whom we are criticizing, if he somehow that immediately comes in front of you, how will you feel and how will he feel? So then His Holiness Vrindavan Chand Maharaj was explaining this point. Simply by controlling our tongue, we avoid so many offenses. And Prabhupada explains the same thing. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jivha vegam, udaropastha vegam. So if we can control our tongue, we can easily control our mind and the urge of anger. Just imagine if you are very angry and you don't actually speak it out. What happens? Anger subsides. But if you start speaking loud, the anger becomes more and more. Have you not noticed that? It's something which you can practically see. That's why when people are fighting, they also use very sharp words. So what people say, "Arey shant ho jao," cool down, and they separate themselves. Very difficult. But Bhurijan Prabhu was mentioning, if you want to become angry, you want to chastise somebody, don't do when you are angry. Prabhu ji, maza kab aayega phir usme? If I am not chastising anybody, if I'm chastising somebody when I'm not angry, what is the point? So it's very easy to say this, but very difficult. But as we practice Krishna consciousness, slowly all those things will manifest in our heart because they're properties of soul. So you got these 4 questions. So okay, so now let us check ourselves how much Krishna conscious we are all throughout the day, and then we see our progress in the evening. And then again tomorrow you start checking for yourself. And how Srila Prabhupada has mercifully engaged us for 6 hours in the morning every day, at least not to talk nonsense. 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. we wake up and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And if that tongue switch is controlled, all the good symptoms will manifest. I am focusing on this point. Just Vani Vivek. If that Vani Vivek is controlled, everything will become manifest. It's the door to Krishna Prem. I am not speaking out of context. Atah Sri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriya sevon mukha hi jivadau swayame vasparatadaha. The blunt material senses cannot understand Krishna. They can only understand sense gratification. But as soon as the tongue is engaged in Krishna's service by chanting Hare Krishna and accepting only prasadam, then Krishna automatically manifests in the heart of the person. So it's not by intelligence we understand Krishna, it's by the tongue that we understand Krishna. In one lecture, Srila Prabhupada explains this. Very transcendental process. So we understand we have so many difficulties, but every time when we hear Shastra, we know this is the standard and I should match my standard. Just like one devotee played Kartal today and he did not play properly. Fine. So now we are not playing properly, so you hear the recording and then you know, okay, this is how I should match. So, samajh rahe na? If you are playing Mridanga, you don't play Mridanga properly, then you hear how the teacher is doing it, and then you match. You're playing harmonium, going wrong, hear what the proper person is doing. That's why we need to learn the standards by the Lord Himself, by which we know what is a person's consciousness, whose consciousness, or what is the symptoms of a person whose consciousness is merged in Krishna. Then we will aspire for the result and we'll keep on matching how far I am from that state. And then we'll work for it. Does it make sense to you? I'll take up some questions if it is there. Even if we do not speak it, it will be in the mind. Then what, Prabhuji? Okay. You see, if we do not criticize and don't speak it, Krishna becomes happy by that. And you must remember that if we speak it, again the impression will come in the mind to speak it further. Just like if somebody has just come to Krishna consciousness. Now let me ask the question. Any of the devotees here, when you were chanting japa, have you ever had a problem of a film song disturbing your mind? Yes. You had problem like that? Have you, and in all my preaching, whatever small career, I have never faced this question, Prabhuji, when we chant Hare Krishna, the lyrics of the film songs come into our heart. Can you right now remember some song? It takes us some time to remember them because we have stopped hearing them. Earlier it was just flowing in our mind, is it not? Ah, like that using it. And if I say, can you remember a tune of Hare Krishna? Immediately, is it not? Immediately. At least Prabhupada tune, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So because it is in front of your mind, adrishtat asutat bhavat na bhavo pujayate. What you have not seen, what you have not heard will not come into your mind. So if you can avoid speaking that, it will get erased and more impressions of Krishna consciousness will come. Make sense to you? Also in Kali Yuga, what we think in the mind is not taken into consideration. If even any Vaishnav criticizes other Vaishnav, well, he is little ignorant in that regard and we must not associate with him. Simple. If you think, even I tell to my Prabhuji, Sanak Sanatana, Prabhuji, we should not criticize. What will we get? No, we must. No, why we must? He is like almost 36 years, I don't know, 35 years. Then he told me, I learned from you. I'm not saying that I never criticize, but I try to avoid. When I cannot correct a person, why should I criticize? Did I chastise you, Prabhuji? Did I chastise you day before yesterday? I did. आप तो गुस्सा हुआ था ना? क्यों हुआ था? Because we have a relationship. सभी पे गुस्सा होता हूँ मैं. Do I become angry on all the gwalas, everybody who meets? Hey, why are you not chanting Krishna? Why are you not coming to class? No. I was just desiring that Prabhu has come here. Why is he not coming to the class? He'll get some lesson, is it not? Am I becoming angry on everybody? And did you complain? Why, Prabhuji, you are becoming angry on me and not on everybody else? You are able to understand the teacher has the right to criticize or chastise the student for his welfare, not that he is envious of him. It's not, if I would have been envious, I would have held the class and said, better nahi aaye. Why should he get the benefit? Is it not? If I'm envious, I would rather that he should not come to the class. Why? Why should he come to the class? Like that, is it not? When we have, now you will understand very easily. When we have a whole bag of rasgulla, which we don't really want to share, is it not? Then we don't want anybody to come. But suddenly by Krishna's mercy, some Vaishnav comes. Then how do you think? How do you do? You understand this point? When it is told, hey, don't sleep in the japa, chant Hare Krishna. This is not envy of the spiritual master or a senior Vaishnav. That is not criticism. So like that.
These are the actions.
This is affection. Otherwise, why he will say like that? If even any Vaishnava criticizes other Vaishnava, then what to do? Just ignore or what? Not ignore, just go away from that place. If some, now let me, because the question is good, I'll answer in a very heavy way. If some people are throwing stool at other people and there's a chance the stool can hit you, what will you do? Ignore it or just run away from there? Then the question can be there, why that person is throwing a stool? Because he's mad. I'll go further now. The question is very heavy. Answer will be more heavy. His Holiness Gaur Krishna Maharaj was saying this point. If somebody is criticizing, what he's doing? Mother is cleaning the stool of the child with her hands, not with her mouth. So if a person is criticizing somebody, he's removing his mala, his stool, all his sins by his tongue. And if he tells us, I am cleaning, why don't you help me? Will you help? Prabhuji, we just have to take prasadam and you're giving us these examples. Yes, it is that bad. It's actually that bad. Lord Buddha was said bad, shameful words by some people for asking alms, but still Lord was smiling. So they said, even after listening to so much, still you are smiling. Lord replied, you are disrespecting me, but I have not accepted your disrespect, so I am unaffected. It's a very important point. I would put it in a different way, how Lord Buddha had reacted. They say, आपको गाली दे रहे हैं, आप गुस्सा नहीं हो रहे. They are giving you bad words. They are not becoming agitated. He said, they are giving, but I am not taking. Simple. I give another example. If I say, Rudra, you are a fool. Please, this is only drama. Please don't take offense. Now, if we are actually fools, you should become. Should you react? No. And if you are actually not fool, should you react? Then what are we? Why are we reacting? So we are, and also, can I see you? First of all. So I'm just saying these words. By this, we should fix our intelligence. Some people will say us fool. Some people will not say us fool. I know one time I was entering my office, and then some devotee was chanting Hare Krishna in front of my office, and then he told to one junior of me, "Isko manager किसने बनाती है?" Who made him manager? I don't know. I have no interaction with him. So my Anupam Krishna Prabhu heard it and he felt very offended. He said, Prabhuji, why he said like this? I said, he asked, don't take it as an offense. He said, just ask Panchagoda Prabhu. He made him manager. He said, Panchagoda Prabhu made him the manager. That means he's actually saying, everybody, I'm a fool, I understand, but the person who made me a manager, he's also a fool. So he's actually offending everybody. I mean, you may have any, and then I asked him, do you have any trouble with me, Prabhuji? I don't know your name also. Did I offend you in any way? No, it's okay. You know, there is no reason why people will become offended also. There's no reason why isko manager kisne bana diya. Do you have control over what people will say? This what I have followed very nicely. One of our devotee, Natwar Prabhu, is always very in anxiety. Prabhuji, kya log kahenge? What people will say? What people will say? I said, don't worry. You just worry what I say. You don't worry what people will say. You just follow your authority and do what you are saying. Otherwise, pagal ho jayenge. Damn it if you do and damn it if you don't. So, I remember one statement on this regard. Anyhow, this is so many things. But one point that was there, one person was there who was sitting on a donkey. And some people say, hey, such a cruel man. He's putting himself on a donkey. Donkey is so weak. You know that story? Is it not? And then he said, then he carried the donkey on him. Then people said, he's such a fool. Donkey is supposed to. He should be riding the donkey and donkey is riding him. So in both situations, people will criticize. I have seen it so many times, no matter what you do. Our Prabhu had made such nice chips in Ekadashi, Karnamit Prabhu. I was just about to glorify, and suddenly a person next to me said, too much salt. And then Karnamit Prabhu said, no, because we have added a little more salt because it's supposed to be taken with the khichdi. So you are taking it raw. So it's everybody's perception is different, everybody's mind is different. So we must learn to tolerate. And that's the whole point of this Bhagavad Gita shloka. So I think you must have loved this discussion in the sense of what the Acharyas have spoken. This was very nice understanding of Asita, Brajeta, Prabhasheta, and like that. So it's very enlivening. The Bhagavad Gita is very enlivening, is it not? So we shall. Okay, so quite a number of devotees are here. Hopefully they are also hearing. Hey, Sarvesh. So you had met with an accident. So if you are Sthita Pragya, you should tolerate it or not? Yes. Whether your video is on or not, I don't know. Maybe you are not in the situation to have your video on right now, but it is there. Also, if the Matajis are married and if the husband gives you hard time, what you should do? Take a sword and fight with him? No. Don't become Jhansi ki Rani. Become Kunti Rani, Kunti Maharani. That is our karma. You just keep on chanting Hare Krishna. People can't fight with you if you don't fight with them. It happened actually with one Mataji who was fighting with her husband. I said, don't fight. And she said, now it is more peaceful. You can't fight with a person who's not fighting with you. How long he can fight? Is it not? I'm not targeting on anyone, but I'm just saying that's how this whole world will go. Okay, I shall stop here now. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. ये भगवत ये बहुत सुंदर श्लोक था.